Welcome to Untamed Blossoms, the podcast where we celebrate the wild and beautiful journey of womanhood. We're here to create a space where women can connect, inspire, and uplift each other. Untamed Blossoms is more than just a podcast. It's a movement. It's a gathering of strong, fierce women who are breaking free from society's expectations.
Our mission is to deep dive into the stories of incredible women who have embraced their authenticity, even in the face of adversity. We believe by sharing these stories, we can inspire others to do the same. Join us as we sit down with women from all walks of life who have faced their own struggles and emerged as the most authentic versions of themselves. From entrepreneurs to artists, activists to adventurers, we'll explore their triumphs and tribulations. Together, we'll navigate the challenges of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and self-love.
But Untamed Blossoms is more than just conversations. We're a community that gathers for events, immerses ourselves in the beauty of nature, and supports one another in our personal and professional growth. So whether you're seeking inspiration, looking for a supportive sisterhood, or simply want to hear incredible stories of women blazing their own trails, Untamed Blossoms is here for you. Together, let's embrace our wildness, bloom unapologetically, and rewrite the rules. Welcome to Untamed Blossoms.
Welcome to Untamed Blossoms. We're grateful you're here. I'm your host, Amanda Riley.
And I'm Christy Riley. Welcome to the pod.
What a rainy day.
It's terrible here.
Dreary. We need that.
Helena has shown up, though.
Yeah.
We're grateful for the rain, and we are desperately sending out all the love to all the people down south that were really terribly affected by this storm. So
Totally. A lot of devastating areas right now. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. Really, really sad. So heart goes out to all of them and hopes for a speedy recovery in all those areas.
Totally. Yeah. It's interesting how it did not rain here for so long. And it has
been... We were experiencing serious drought.
Yeah. And it's been now, 4 or 5 days straight?
Yeah.
Rain?
I think even more than that.
Yeah.
It was raining last week when we moved. Yeah.
Speaking of move, what's going on at the house? Give us a little update.
We moved, so we're officially in. We officially gave up the old house yesterday, so we are 100% moved. It's slightly chaotic at the farm currently, but things are progressing nicely, and we all love it there, and we're excited. So,
any new big things that got accomplished today?
Oh, today was installs of the closets in the master bedroom today, and the little office organizational thing for Stan came today, and so yeah, lots of big unboxing of things tonight to put things away, which makes my heart happy because having shit everywhere is not cool with me. I get really antsy about it. So yeah, it's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We should talk about our event we had on Sunday.
Oh my gosh, you guys, you missed it if you weren't with us. It was so great.
It was
so
amazing.
Great. Yeah.
It was really great to see women who some knew each other, but definitely not everyone. Some people were very new to meeting one another. And it was awesome to watch people open up and be vulnerable and just share things about themselves with sometimes strangers.
Yes. And people cried in front of each other who don't historically cry. I know these people who cried and they don't historically cry. And then the biggest, coolest thing for me, the biggest takeaway for me, and you're happy, I'm happy to let you have a turn at this as well, but it was one of our attendees had an experience with another attendee, unrelated, and was really off-put by this person.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot be besties. We can't be friends. We can't even be acquaintances. I don't even want to be in the room with you. And during the course of this event and what they learned about each other, by the end, had total respect for this person and voiced it and said, man, this has been a really cool experience to get to experience you through, experience myself through you, and knowing that we're similar in our human design reading, and then come to a common ground and have a totally different opinion of her at the end.
Yeah.
And that was really beautiful. And I was like, man, how cool is this program of human design that gives us the tools to have so much more compassion for other people when you really understand kind of what they were meant to do on this planet and show up as. And it's just really, for me, that was the coolest event of all of it. All of us, I feel like, even me at these events, even though we've done our human design, came away with epiphanies through these group meetings. And I know you had one, I'll let you share, but it was very, very cool. And I'm so grateful for everyone who came. And I always learn something new about myself through all these women that show up. And it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to, there's people say if you see someone or are around someone, they're really bothering you, you should look at what about that's bothering you, because you probably are mirroring that in some way. And so it was very cool to see that in action. And I loved it. I thought it was a really good in-person, like real-time example of how that can happen in the world.
Yeah.
I find myself like when I meet someone else who's like a really high producer, really bubbly, I'm like, oh, God, what do they have to prove? And then it's like, oh no, I'm just mad because I want to be the one who's that.
Who's the most productive in the room.
Yeah. Out here on my tail. Yeah. And I love it. So yeah, it was funny because every time I meet with Sarah, something else like occurs to me and I'm like, what? And I had two of those moments, and definitely one was just how much I get frustrated when people tell me to slow down, or they're like, oh my gosh, like, can you just relax? Can you just like chill out? And I desperately want to be the person that can just mindlessly watch a TV show or just like lay back and kick back, right? Like that sounds so much fun. I just can't. And what's so wonderful about human design is it's like, yeah, of course you can't. Look at what's in your design. Like there's nothing in your design that would make you want to do that. And it's okay to feel like I want to, like, even if I am watching something, I want to be playing solitaire or I'm crocheting. Like I want to do something because I just can't be that person. And it was just like a really good reminder of how triggering it is for me when people ask me to slow down or tell me to just relax. So that was one. Another thing that I thought was really, really interesting is I had a massive breakthrough with Sarah about how often I don't do things because I'm afraid people will perceive me.
That's right. Yeah.
As flaky or non-committal. So if I had it my way, and my terrain is like wide open spaces, right? Like it's very the chicks out here, but I like a lot of room, I have a lot of space, and I like to do a lot of things. And I'm constantly staying in things too long because I'm like, well, if I switch this up or if I do something different, people are not going to see me as someone they can depend on. And I pride myself in being a dependable person. Like I love routine. I love those things. However, I love things to be all over the place. I love chaos. I love big groups. I love things being different. I don't like being bored. So again, things I know, but it was just so validating and just like a really, I don't know. It really changed a lot for me to realize how much that has been impacting me lately and the fear of perception from other people. So
how do you take those epiphanies, those moments of like clarity, and put them into practice after you have them with Sarah? I think that's the hardest part, right? Is that I've had these same moments, and that's the hard part is like, okay, now what do I do with that? Right. And so listening to our gut and our frustrations, or however, our design says that we communicate with ourselves, and really mapping those moments in your mind and being like, oh, I'm triggered about this, and this is why, and I need to pivot, right? It's just being aware of it for me, but I didn't know if you'd.
Well, it's interesting because I gave someone this advice just last night, and I said, well, just the thing is, the more authentically you're yourself and the weirder you are, the things will come to you that are meant for you, right? Like the more authentically you're living, the more genuine you are to your design, things start falling in place. And I very much feel that in my bones and believe that to be true. But it's so hard to take that, your own advice with that, right? Like, why am I afraid of perception? Because the people that want me to be incredibly dependable, reliable, want me doing the same things over and over again, that benefits them, not me.
Right.
So if I'm attracting those people who need me to be the steadfast person, who need me to be the one that they can rely on all the time for everything, well, Amanda, that's probably going to get real old real fast.
Right.
The more if I could just lean into, yeah, sorry, I don't feel like sitting down right now, or hey, like I feel like I want to go learn how to axe throw.
Right.
And it's a Tuesday, I'm aware, but that's what I feel like doing. Oh, there's a concert tonight. Don't know who that is, but I would love to be around a bunch of people. So I'm going to go. If I did more of that, I think I would be surrounded by people who would feed that and fuel that. So it's way easier said than done. It's hard in any capacity, but really knowing yourself and just saying, like, I can't be afraid of showing up as me, because that will then allow my circle to be brighter and happier and more aligned.
Right.
So
always for everyone.
It's crazy. Anything else from the event that really stuck with you?
That was the big one for me. It was really beautiful, and I felt really grateful to be in that circle, and it really just filled my cup, and that's what I'm paying attention to, are the things that are filling my cup, and I'm not watching my watch and going, is this almost over?
I couldn't believe how fast that time went by.
It was 3 hours, and it went by so fast, and that just shows me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And the event space at the farm is getting carpet this week. So we're getting really close to what we're doing.
Yeah.
So our next series, our next ones are coming up. So if you guys haven't had a chance to get your tickets, please do. On the 29th, the 27th, I'm sorry, 10/27, things that haunt you. So we're going to take a look at your shadows, and themed a little Halloweeny. But it does take your human design. You don't have to have gone to the first event to come to the second one. Sarah does a really great job of just letting you know how to read your chart. You leave with a whole your whole chart virtually. She gives you a QR code, and it's there for you to learn all about yourself. And then we'll talk about these shadowy sides of yourself and how to kind of integrate those. And it's not, Sarah does a really beautiful job of it never being negative.
Totally.
That everyone has shadows, and it's part of us, and we have to integrate our shadow work. So it's not dark and it's not depressing. It's just recognizing it and accepting it. So it's really a beautiful process. So don't feel like we're doing really dark work this for Halloween. We're really not. It's a really great process. So grab your tickets if you haven't.
Yep. And just so you know too, there after that, in case you're busy that date, we will have a holiday prep one around learning your communication style in November on the 17th. And then in December, we're going to have what's your brightest gift? What do you give to the world? So again, like Christy said, you don't have to attend one to attend the other. No matter what, we'll get your chart for you. So definitely sign up. And Christy, you're learning this in real time, but we have wanted to do a free event.
Yes.
And once the space is ready, we were thinking about a little dance party.
Yes, I'm so excited.
And maybe some NA options and just a good time. And then I thought to myself, Amanda, your 2-year sober-versary is in November.
That's right. Oh, I got cold chills. Look, my hair's Okay, deal. That's a done deal.
So I thought, wow, we should do.
We are throwing you a sober party.
It doesn't have to be throwing me a party per se, but I just think, like, wow, what crazy timing that we've been looking at.
Why would we not celebrate you?
That could be a part of it, but I think it's just interesting. We've been talking about wanting to do this. We thought about November, and I was like, oh my gosh, my 2 years is in November. So stay tuned for more about that.
Yes, exciting. Yeah, I love that. Okay.
Let's talk about our guest today. Her name is Breanne Johnson. She's the creator and founder of the Lady Lounge and Gentle Mel Mental Health. So her whole tagline, her whole gig, and she'll obviously get into this a little bit more, it's just a safe space for ladies. And she is really, really dedicated and focuses a lot of her efforts on mental health. I've been to a few of her events. I was there under our Sober Besties umbrella doing a mocktail for one of her events. Listened to a panel speak about mental health, and there was a fashion show, and it was
Nice.
Barbie
Oh my
themed.
gosh, your favorite.
I had the best time, and before then, I had run to a few other times and had done some adjacent events. And Brittany, who has been on the pod, introduced me. So she does incredible work, and I am so excited to talk to her today.
Yeah, she's doing great work. This is needed, I think, especially in this time. So the fact that ladies have a safe space to come and be with each other, hang out, find friends, talk about serious issues without feeling weird about it. Good for her. I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, I love that she also calls herself a serial entrepreneur. So I think it's going to be a very interesting chat today.
Yes, can't wait. Without further ado,
let's welcome Bree to the pod. All right, Bree, welcome to the pod.
Hi, Bree.
Hey. Hello. Thanks, ladies.
Morning. We're so excited to talk to you.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
Well, I met you, I think, probably, maybe like 6 years ago, even.
It's been a minute.
It's been a long time, I feel like. But I've gotten to know you through, the Lady Lounge and things that you've done and attended an event. And you're just like a beautiful soul. So we're so happy to have you.
Appreciate it. Mutual.
So we would love to start off today with just you telling us a little bit about your career and like where you've been in your career, and then what made you really start to think about becoming an entrepreneur and building a business.
Oh, yes, I love it. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started out with Melanin Mom Boutique. It's a luxurious accessory brand boutique. I noticed that I was literally creating friends through my business. So I was like, you know what, how can I replicate it, as well as kind of having a focus on mental health, because that's been so near and dear to my heart for a very long time. I even got my master's in psychology. So I was like, how can I kind of transpire so I can start this? But honestly, I started it and it's been a phenomenon in a way. So I just had an entrepreneur spirit from the very beginning. My family, how we have a lot of entrepreneurs in our family. So I guess it just ran in my blood, if you will. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
amazing. And so it's near and dear to your heart. Are you willing to share what led you down that path? Just an interest in psychology?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So a lot of my friends have been touched by mental health. A few of my friends deal with anxiety. A few of my friends have dealt with depression. A lot of different things transpired. My one friend did lose their battle. So unfortunately, they're not here anymore. But I decided that I'm just gonna kind of vouch into places where I'll be able to assist more people, to have comfortable conversations and just have an area where they're safe. Because at that time, I don't believe my friend felt very safe at that time.
Yeah. And so creating space for ladies to have these deep conversations that sometimes they feel like they don't have an opportunity to have with others.
That is correct. Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I know when I attended the fashion show, I'd love you to talk about.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so fun.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite events, and it was just so incredible to mesh those things together that I would have never come up with. So I would love for you to talk about that event. What inspired you to have all those moving pieces, and what was your like objective out of that event?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Literally our hands down favorite event ever. I actually have two other co-owners that own the Lady Lounge with me, and we have a total of 7 board members. So long story short, me and my other co-founder were both into fashion. She actually went to school for fashion at Kent State. So, and then my other businesses, Melanin Mom Boutique, which is love fashion, always been a fashion girly. And I was like, how can I mix them? And I'm like, you know what, look good, feel good. Like everyone always quotes it, everyone says that, but how do you look good and feel good? So I was like, what about adding a psychology piece to it? Let's talk mental health, let's get comfortable, let's look good while we're starting to feel good. So I decided to kind of collaborate those pieces together.
Wow, amazing. And it had a great turnout.
Yes, very, very wonderful turnout, I would say the least. We're going to be expanding into Chicago due to that such a great event, if you will. So we decided to change it over there. Yeah.
Is it going to be an annual event?
Yes, it is. So we are going on our 3rd annual. for
Yes.
2025. Yeah.
Perfect. Yay.
That's
That's
amazing.
fantastic. Where can people find tickets to that? Is it normally a certain month?
Yep. So it'll be on Eventbrite. We usually have it a month before the actual event, but it's usually in May for mental health. So we'll be having it May 31st of next year. We
Got
already have location, everything. We're very excited to get it kicked off.
fantastic. Everybody put it on their calendars.
Yes, put it on your calendar.
Yay.
Can you
Yes.
tell us how you are able to collaborate with different businesses to be able to host some of these events? I think I love the space it was in prior. I think it was like an art space, right? Like an art studio. So how do you
Yeah.
patients?
Yeah, so yeah, we had it at Roy G. Biv for our very first one, and then we had it at Ilka's Fine Art Gallery. A lot of them have been collaborations either through me just randomly just reaching out via email or just through a friend who's a business owner as well. And they're like, hey, you know what, you should connect with them. I think that would be a good collaboration. So a lot of the ordeals where I'm able to collab with other businesses, it usually typically is through a business that referred them to me, or better yet, a friendship, or just email and reaching out.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to an entrepreneur last week, Mary, who has a pop-up better beverage shop, and she has
Okay.
NA beverages for people. And Sober Besties is another one of my
Yes.
endeavors and important to
Yes.
me. But she was just talking about how almost shocked she was to see the support that women in Columbus have for each other when it comes to entrepreneurship. So
Agreed.
can you tell us a little bit about some of that experience that you've had and working with people and just them being open to saying, "Hey, let me help here."
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of our events, even though it's called the Lady Lounge, I would say a lot of our events, it's more women centered. So we try to have women pop-ups. We try to do women locations. So I know that there's a few founders at Roy G. Biv, but the woman who helped us, like I just said, woman. I was able to collaborate with her. Ilka's Fine Art Gallery is mother-daughter owned. The location we're going to be in Chicago. It's called Woman Made Gallery, woman owned. So a lot of the times we just work with women completely. So I would say the collaboration is completely women centered.
What have you seen in trends and patterns with around women and mental health recently? Have you seen anything that you're struggling with or that you're targeting currently or
Yeah, I would say there's been a lot of cases with anxiety, a lot of postpartum depression. I've noticed lots of times I get a lot of my information through either connections that I have with the mental health space, or better yet, I'll go on social media. A lot of the times, the media really does showcase a lot of things, even though like media is so fake, blah, blah, all that stuff. A lot of the times it will showcase what's actually going on. So a lot of times anxiety, depression, usually that typical case of case, even PTSD for different areas of women from childhood, adolescent to adulthood that just transpires into their everyday life.
I think we talked about this a couple times, but just social media in general, just being such a catalyst for comparison and
Mhm.
unhappiness and look what this person has and I have and I don't, and how can I get there, and just like those unrealistic expectations. So
Mhm.
have you, and maybe you have had an event like this, but have you focused anything on how to manage all that information coming at you all at once, or do you yourself have a best practice around that?
Yeah, so my best practice, because social media, like I said, it's an information overload, and then sometimes there's a lot of fake information out there. I've been able to like just step back. Because a lot of times I just re-downloaded my personal Instagram, probably gonna end up deleting it again because it's just been too much focus on there. But a lot of the times I just try to take a step back away from it, and then just like if I have to just take a rest, like I have a lot of messages and like collaboration, or hey, can we connect, or hey, I have this issue. How do I connect with said person or whatnot? I sometimes have to take a step back and just allow myself some space, or I'll even designate the work to a few of my other co-owners, and they'll be able to assist me too.
Yeah, and that was actually your main takeaway, your key learning from this business is how to designate that workload to other
Hmm.
people and why that's so important. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll start from the very beginning. My very first business, well, technically my first business that I owned as an LLC, Melon Mom Boutique, I had the worst delegation. I had a team, but I never delegated anything at all. Luckily, they're over a lot of different things now when it comes like fashion pieces and whatnot. But with the Lady Lounge, I was like, okay, there's so many businesses that pop up and then just die down, like a lot of like women centered groups, and then there's no help. So I was like, how can I continue this and then be able to continue it further for years and years down the line? I'm like, you know what? I need to grab people, add people, tell people I need help. So the first part is, do you need help? Yes, no. Even if you're a small, large, whatever, if you need help, ask people. I ask my friends. They're like, you know what? I love what you're doing. How can I help? So I would say that's the first step. I decided to designate because I want this to be I want it to be a very long lived business. And I noticed, like I said, a lot of times women centered groups, they close down very quickly because there is no help.
I I I I find this to be very close to home.
Yeah.
The lack of being able to delegate to people and say I need help, right? Especially in a
Yes.
business forum. And I think that entrepreneurs in general, male and female both, struggle with, well, nobody can do it as good as me.
That one. Yes.
So
Yep.
nobody's going to have the, well, of course not in some ways, but some people can actually do it better than you, right? Like that's
Right.
coming to that recognition. And even they may not have the same passion for your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you
Right.
did, because it's yours and it was your baby and
Mm-hmm.
your birth. You birthed this into existence.
Yes.
And so how do you come up with that? There's a saying out there in the business world that if somebody's doing it 75 to 80% as good as you would do it,
Mm.
you're doing well in the business
Yeah.
ownership, if an employee doing it, or somebody that you're
Mm.
asking to delegate it. So how have you struggled with delegating something and then like been like, oh wait, that's not great, or take that back, or you know, I think as entrepreneurs, we really struggle with this in general is what was the follow-up? What was the training? Amanda and I talk
Mm.
all the time, right? How do
Yep.
you designate, and then what's the checks and balances to make sure that it's being done correctly
Mm.
and well, and that things are moving in the right direction? So how have you guys handled that in your organization?
Yeah, so 100% agree. That's why I was like, I don't know how I feel about delegating. I can do it better. I'll just like stay up all night. I don't care, whatever. So the nice thing is I got a trusted set of people first off. I told them specifically on our very first board meeting, here's the vision, here's what I want, here's exactly what pieces you can take away. And of course, I'm always here for you. I'm trying to do good about not micromanaging. It's literally I can understand why corporate, they're like, I don't want to be micromanaged, but I can see why. So I decided I'm not going to micromanage. I'm just going to allow it to flow. And then if something happens, we can talk about it. Because at the end of the day, the good thing is that it's a baby. So it's not a it is a full grown business, but it's not as intense as it will be. So best to make those mistakes now so we can fix them early. And then also on top of that, we do have trainings also. So the nice thing is that I place in one of my really close friends to be over the HR. She does it for a living anyway. So we have one-on-one coaching, if you will. So we can kind of conversate, chat, what's going on in daily life. Are you okay? What's going on? A lot of the times corporate world does miss that. And with me being a mental health company, I have to focus in on that. So we just really focus in and share, hey, are you good? What's going on? Do you need to take a step back? Do you need someone to help you? So even in a business, you're allowed to get help. Even if I'm asking for help, you're allowed to get help too from your other team members. So delegating, even being a delegation, like continuously delegating to other people, I think is very important. And trainings is very, very vital.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The business model really is centered around events, right? Is having
Yes.
events.
Yeah.
And these are ticketed events. You buy tickets, you come, and you have a space. You're literally buying your way into a safe space to be seen,
Correct.
heard, validated. It's
Yes.
fantastic. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Knowing
Thank
that
you.
you're on the precipice of moving into Chicago, that's so exciting. I had no idea.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Like, wow, that's
Yeah.
huge. So, how did
Thanks.
that come to fruition? And then, what are you keeping in mind about delegation as you're entering this growth space?
Yeah, definitely. So that's a really good fun thing. I've been thinking about it for a really long time, and then my aunt, who actually is my mom's twin, she was like, "You need to go somewhere else. You can't just keep it in Ohio." And I was like, "You know what? You're right. Like, I just needed that one person to like let me know, it's time to just flourish, girl." So I decided right then and there, let's figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out, and then instantly, probably like maybe 2 weeks later, I reached out to Ilka's Fine Art Gallery, the one that I did the collaboration with. She has a lot of connections. I was like, hey, do you have any connections? So then that's how we got that space in that way. But yeah, the way that I'm kind of going to delegate it, that's why I created the board so that they can kind of focus in on like certain areas. So right now I'm over the expansion piece. I'll be traveling and doing all this fun stuff while they're here hosting the events. I'm going to plan as much as I can to be able to be at every single event because I know people love seeing the face of the company a lot of the times. But yeah, just being able to really, really trust them and be like, hey, we're going to have an event here. This you're going to talk to is your point person. So yeah, it's going to be
It's,
fun. A
it's
lot of learning will be happening.
the business really takes on a whole life form, right? Like it is a
Yeah,
baby, but at the same time, like of course they associate it with you, but at the same time, it goes on without you as the hope, right? Is that
correct.
you've sparked this into existence for it to be in existence for who it's serving, not necessarily for you, right? And that you can't
Yep,
be in all places at all times, and
agreed.
as it grows, it definitely can't be you that's attending
Oh
every
no, definitely not.
it has to have its own
Yeah.
have its own force um and that and in some ways I know that as an entrepreneur that makes you nervous, right?
Yeah. Oh
Time
yes,
you're like,
yes.
I have to have trusted people that I know will do the right thing and handle it.
Yep, and then become the face of the company too. Like they'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm in Chicago. I know that I'm going to see blank person because they're pretty much always on the social media talking about said event, so I know I'm going to see their face." So yeah, that's the next step. Hmm.
So we're really big about community, right? Like that's really what we're
Hmm.
doing is establishing fireside chats, right? Women used to get
Right,
together and tell stories around fires, and
correct.
we don't really do any of that very much. And you're sort of
Right.
the same thing, right? As creating
Hmm.
this space for women as to commune, really.
Hmm.
How important do you feel like this piece is to our society moving forward? I know that's a big, heavy question, but
Yeah.
we feel really passionately about it. And I would love to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah, definitely. So community's always been a thing for me. I feel like my family is very large at the same time. I literally grew up with my girl cousins from like I literally witnessed them from baby to now. So community has always been a huge thing. Even if like it's family, it's still community. So I decided, how can I replicate that and being able to like be a change. So it'll always be there at the end of the day, regardless of someone. If I decide, you know what, no more. I'm hoping that it still extends out to other companies to be able to kind of not really replicate, but take those key pieces, if you will, and being able to be like, you know what, mental health should be a more of a center focus. Let's do more mental wellness events. So at the end of the day, I'm hoping that I'm building community so more people can kind of broaden their horizon and just have more of a conversation around mental health because it's very, very, very important.
I thought it was so beautiful when we had the panel talk,
Yes.
all the different like experienced people in that field. And
Mm-hmm.
someone asked the question, like, I'm going to paraphrase, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know if therapy is for me. I don't know because I can't find the right person to talk to. Like, I've been through a few
Mm-hmm.
different therapists and it didn't work out. And I just thought the way everyone kind of came together to help answer that for her and like giving
Right.
her that like courage to keep going and saying like how it just
Right.
takes time sometimes, like that kind of softness isn't often found in groups of people that are strangers. How do you ensure in those spaces that when people ask questions like that, especially to some people that were therapists, like
Mm-hmm.
what do you do to prep your panel to make sure that they are expressing your brand the way that you want to come across? And then do you have any worries about that kind of thing with mental health being the topic of conversation?
Mm, right. Absolutely love it. So we do prep them in a way. We give them the questions and then we just let them know, by the way, we're going to open it up for Q&A. The last event, it was very interesting. I'm a very time focused person. Like when I say the time's going to end, that's when it's going to end. It's when it's going to start. And I decided, you know what? It's over the time, but you know what? I'm going to allow this to take precedent because this woman really needs to get this answer. That's what we did with the last one too. Luckily, we didn't go over time, but if we did, no worries. But our one at Ilka's Fine Art Gallery, I think it went over about 15 to 20 minutes because we really, really, really had to hone and focus in on like, she's asking a question. There are mental health professionals right here, and she's really, really dying for this answer. We even had people, I think my mom and my mom's sister started answering and just being that community center focus. Like, hey, you know what? If you need help, I will be there for your kids. I will come get them because basically your question was, how do you pretty much delegate? Like, I have a husband, I have a business, I have a bunch of kids. How do I like be like, you know what? I have dishes in the sink. How do I like be like, okay, you know what? It's okay to have a messy house. It's okay to do this. She was like, I just don't get that. I want a clean house. I want all this stuff. And my aunt, which I was like, wow, I'm glad she said something. She's a neat freak, like crazy neat freak. She knows this. She literally told her, she's like, leave the dishes in the sink. Do all that. Right. Get someone, get granny, get auntie, get something so you can kind of focus in and leverage out those kind of people. But I would say that is the thing that I noticed. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to let whatever question take precedence, and I'm not going to worry about the time increment.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Long story short.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm also that same way with time. I am like, okay, we have an agenda. We have this much time for this and that much time for that. And podcast has also taught me those things that sometimes people say a lot more, a lot less than you hope they will. And you have to just let it flow with it, right? Because whether it be a question on mental health or someone sharing their story, which is deeply personal, it's allowing that space and giving people that space that they need. So awesome.
Yeah.
Has there been any major setbacks in your business? Has something happened where you thought, okay, maybe this just is not for me? And maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's your jewelry brand that you have, which I still have my huge spider earrings I bought from you.
Hey, there you go. Oh, yes, I love them. Yes.
They were so cute. But any moments like that happened to you?
Yeah. So at the very beginning, we did start out with more co-owners than what we have. Love them still near and dear, but there were some times where they had to step back from the business completely. And that took a lot out of me because at the end of the day, I want the vision to come to life. And then it's just like that piece where you're like, oh, I thought that you wanted this too, but they didn't. So I had to take a step back and really think about what am I doing? Do I want to still continue this? Is it actually what I think it's going to be? And I continued it, which I'm glad that I did. I didn't stop or whatnot. And I have my two other co-founders, Abby and Emily, still with me. But if, for example, they're like, you know what, I can't do it anymore. I'm still have that access to be like, you know what, we still got this. Even though they're not able to continue this, I'm still going to continue the mission. And let's just say one day I'm like, you know what, like I said at the beginning, if I'm like, you know what, I can't continue this anymore, someone else will take on the mission since we did build that foundation at the end of the day.
Totally.
We'll say the business partnership, they always say it's a marriage. And it
literally, yeah. I feel like I'm married to them every single day.
I think that's a nice topic if you're willing to speak on it.
Yeah, let's do it.
There doesn't seem to be any negativity, but you literally divorce these people, right? When you go through these business pieces. Some of them get extremely ugly as regular divorces, and some of them are more amicable. So how did you navigate that to where you were willing to pivot and were you able to maintain those relationships still and be able to move forward in the betterment of the business without feeling probably bitter?
Definitely. So I've always, like I said, it helps that I came from an entrepreneur mother. She's always been very grounded, very gung ho, and she always has let me know. Even my dad, he's like, not everybody is your friend. There's more associates than you have of friends. So I decided to take that same aspect that my dad engraved in me, that not everyone's your friend, and take it into business. Be like, you know what, this is a business partnership. We can be friends too, but this is business, so that you're aware. And then also, both my co-founders, they also have businesses as well. So it's been a very big game changer because they know how to turn one off and then one on. So with my mom specifically, she's had a business partner for, I believe, almost 20 years. They've had fights. They were bickering. I think they went on vacation together with my mom's twin, and my mom's twin literally called my mom, their mom, and was like, they're arguing again. Like, what's going on? I don't know what to do. So it's literally, like you said, a divorce. It's literally a marriage. They've been married technically for 20 years in a way, but it's been a very fun experience for them, I would say. Like I said, on my end, of course, my co-founders and partners, we definitely have had some agreements, but at the end of the day, we know the difference between a business partnership and a friendship. Hey, we argued about this one specific piece on the business, but hey, do you want to go ahead and get some coffee? Or hey, do you want to go ahead and come on over and watch a movie with me? Same exact day, but like, let's forget about the fact that we're in business together. Let's be friends still. But yeah, keep them separate.
How did that come up that your other business partners decided to leave?
I kind of just noticed that certain things were taking more precedent than the business. So I was like, hey, you know what? Is everything okay? Like, you know what? I really need to focus on my personal life right now. And that's when I was like, you know what? It's okay. Understood. That's why I have that in place now. So we can have those conversations versus now we're getting to a level of, hey, I was at 100, now I'm at 0, and I don't got nothing more for you. So that's why we have that in place now, so that if that does happen, we're ready and prepared for it versus how it happened.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good. Sounds like you guys navigated those difficulties.
Yes.
That's awesome. It can be done, everyone who's had a bad breakup with a business partner.
Right.
It can be done.
So Kim, I was just thinking through like all the, events that you've had and like the pivots you've made as a business owner and the different entrepreneurial, fluxes you've made throughout time. If someone is struggling right now, feeling like, I don't even know where to start, I have so many ideas and I want to do all the things, how would you give someone advice of like where to start and then where to know to kind of like pivot and grow in one area or let things go? I think that's also hard for women who are starting a business. Like, what do I hold on to? And then what can I let go as I learn more and like become, more ingrained in my community?
I like this question. So I have multitude of ideas. It's like actually disturbing. I've been creating ideas since I don't even remember, probably like high school, where I used to like bedazzle like the check mark, and I was like, I'm gonna make this a business, and I'm just gonna keep doing it until like I'm old. Like that's gonna be my business. Stop that instantly. I was like, you know what? This takes a lot of work. I'm not doing that every day. Tried to do resin earrings, couldn't do it, couldn't figure it out. So I would just say like, which I heard one of the panelists at this beautiful event that I went to recently, whatever you feel passionate about that gets you up every single day, that you just feel like, you know what, I want to do this for the rest of my life, just go with it. There's gonna be some hard times and whatnot, but I would just recommend just one. I mean, all the business owners like, just go, just do it. But it's like at the end of the day, if you're passionate about it, just keep striving, keep going. And then I always tell everybody that I talk to, get someone that you trust, even if it's like my mom, who I trust, or better yet, is a dad or someone that you trust that's really gonna like hold you accountable. I know there's accountability partners. Maybe if you have to get a coach or whatnot, just have someone that's going to keep you grounded and keep you focused on like what you actually want to do.
It's always such a daunting thing. Like even you mentioned like having a board. I thought, I don't have a board. Like, I like, oh gosh, it's easy to compare and contrast or hear someone say one thing and you think, oh my gosh, do I need that for my business or is this going to work?
Right.
So is there anything that you've been able to let go of over this time and say like, hey, that just isn't serving me and I'm not going to include that as part of my business?
Yep. I love this question even more than this one. So I wouldn't say there's, I just didn't get the correct advice at the time. It was interesting because at the very first point of my business, I was like, I want to create a board. And someone's like, no, don't do that. And I was like, oh, why not? They're like, you know what, just get affiliates. And I'm like, okay, I don't know where to start. I'll ask ChatGPT about this. So I had to, unfortunately, decrease that idea of that because I just wasn't getting as many people that were interested in like the affiliate program. I didn't really understand how to like kind of combine it. So like not everything is for every business. Not everything fits. I was like, okay, let's do like volunteers. Let's see how that fits. of course, there's people that want to volunteer, but there's a lot of work that goes into that. So luckily, we have a board that's able to kind of continue that motion. But I would say the board's cool. It's been a game changer for me, but not everyone needs a board. Not everyone needs a business partner, even. Just whatever you feel like is best fit at that time. I think you should just go with it, even if it's affiliate program and someone's like, no, don't do it. Yeah, just do it anyway and see if it fails. You know, I did it, it failed, and now we're here. I should have went with the first thought that was in my head.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of women who are afraid because of, and maybe I'm speaking about myself. Not necessarily myself, I may be projecting, but that may feel like if I ask for you as a successful business owner, right, as a woman, that might be intimidating for another woman who's just starting to approach, because I feel like this community, we kind of need to be doing that for each other, right? And so not dismiss that person who's just starting because they're coming to you and saying, hey, you have a board, tell me about that, right? I'm trying to decide if I need this for my business. And I saw somebody on TikTok that said, you have a board, and I have a checklist that they gave me, and I'm trying right? And we have to be more vulnerable with each other. And I love your whole program, and that you're sort of fostering that. You're fostering that vulnerability and giving people an opportunity to show up to these events and have a real space that people are running big corporations and art galleries and businesses and right. And you have this circle of trust of people that they can bring their ideas and show up and say, hey, can I ask you a question? How did you do this? And how did you navigate this? And I'm trying to decide if that's right for my business. And my husband is a business owner as well. And I learned from him is that he's even if it's what you're trying to start would be a direct competition with him. He doesn't care. He will answer any question and help that person as much as they would like to be vulnerable enough to ask. Right. So I think that what you're doing creates that space. And I hope that the same for us is that our events creates a space that women just to help each other and support each other in those ways, to be able just to ask the question so you don't go too far down those roads of, boy, I got a lesson on TikTok today. Because I can't tell you how many times I've sent Amanda things on social media that because I hate technology and I hate social media, and so she does all. Thank God.
Nice.
And so
she's doing great.
She's doing great. And something will pop up on my feed, and I'll be like, "Oh, we're supposed to be," and I'll just forward it to her. I'm like, "Are we doing any of these things?" She puts up with me because she's like, sure, and no, and sure. Because I fall victim to those same things. You want it to be successful, and everybody has an opinion and everybody has advice. And so it's good to hear that you've also got some conflicting advice that you've had to work your way through and be like, no, that wasn't good.
That was fun.
Yeah. And that was a giant waste of my time. Thank you.
A lot. I've had a lot of advice that wasted my time. So yeah.
Do you find that people give you a lot of just like unsolicited, hey, you should do this? How do you handle that?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Especially I think in this business, in this realm that I'm in now, luckily with this business, I haven't had any imposter syndrome, which is great. But my other business, I definitely did. So I would say there's a lot of unsolicited advice from a lot of different people, not even in the mental health profession, not even there. It's typically people who are not mental health professionals, people who are just like, hey, did you think about this? Or you should do this? Or, hey, can I speak and talk about this? Or, hey, can I do this? I'm like, let me talk to my co-founder. Like, usually I leverage them out because I'm like, I don't want to say no right in the moment. I need a moment to like gather. But yeah, I get a lot of that, to say the least. A lot of unsolicited.
This sort of like litmus test of things that you hold an idea against to make sure that it's on brand for you.
Yeah, I guess in a way, yes and no. So for example, let's just say the things that really aren't on brand for us are mainly in like the physical space, but we've opened it up for like yoga because there's a lot of studies that go with it. For example, like a lot of breathing technique and work. So like one of our board members, she's a yoga instructor, and I'm like, you know what? Let's start doing some events that involve like physical health or whatnot, because I don't want to touch other people's spaces, but I think it's important to start touching other people's spaces, because at the end of the day, I can't excel as much as I would like to do, because I'm like, I don't want to mess with them. I don't want them to mess with me, but there's always room for collaboration as well. So if someone's like, hey, you're in the physical space, can we collab? I'm like, yeah, of course. So I've had a lot of physical health companies reach out to our business, and I'm like, not yet, but now I know it's the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, your physical self is so much part of your mental health, right? So
120%. Yeah.
in my opinion, separate in any way. I would consider not to be treading on anybody else's toes, but exactly
correct
the vein you should be in. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to switch your mood, what we're told, just go for a walk in nature. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And the sun, that has a lot to do with it. And you can, if you're inside and on Netflix, none of that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda rage walks on her elliptical
walking path.
I love it.
She rage walks on her if she's angry.
I have the whole system where I put my tripod over top of my walking pad with my Kindle on it, and I read books while I rage walk, and it is awesome.
Okay. I might have to start doing that.
You should. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
So
okay, I like it.
A rebounder just showed up yesterday. I forgot to tell you.
Oh.
So I also bought a rebounder to jump and get back into my body.
I love that.
Okay.
Get
it. I like it.
Whatever makes you happy. I also recently bought a pair of roller skates to get back into the roller skating world.
Same. I love a good roller skate. Let me know when you want to go. I'll go with you.
Yes, I would love that. I think we should do an event at a roller rink, actually.
Ooh, I like that. Keep talking.
I love that. Yeah, we should talk after. We'll definitely get
Let's do it.
I think
I'm down.
The reason I say that is not because we should be fearful of other adults. It was the teenagers who scared Amanda away last time she went roller skating.
Have you seen a 16-year-old with a nice outfit and some skates in there looking at you like here? Scary.
I'm like, I'm just trying to wear some sweatpants, maybe a crop top if we're lucky. I'm not trying to be cute. I know I'm gonna fall everywhere. Like my outfit's gonna be ruined.
Well, there are a couple places that are doing adult only evenings, which
okay.
But I think we should talk about that, because I think
I'm down
to have
I love it.
Roller skating event. I think that would be amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yes, I'm down.
Well, we always ask every single episode, because we think it's really important to share this information. Who in your life has really inspired you? I know you've talked a lot about your mom, your aunt, but I think I met your mom actually one time.
Yes. She never ever touched a drop of alcohol. That was her.
Yes, I had her in my memory for a reason, and that is exactly it. It's amazing. But can you talk to us about those women who have inspired you?
Yeah, well, of course, my mom. I would even say my dad has done a lot of significant pieces of my life too. I would say like the main thing that I carry with myself all the time is that not everyone's your friend. Even though I have a business that's like, everybody's my friend, not everybody's your friend. It's okay to let people go. I think that's been a very, very, very added on additional piece to my life. A lot of times I have to let people go, and it's like, it's okay. It's fine. You're good, right? Yes, I'm good. So I would say a lot of my significant pieces of my life have been from my mom and dad, both by teaching me different methods to being able to be like, you got this, you're good. So definitely my mom 100%, because of course she's an entrepreneur. I've seen her go from working with special needs, which was amazing, where she worked in a school, and then now she has her own company where she's caring for special needs. I've seen her me and her both were able to graduate with our undergrad degrees together, which was super exciting. I saw my mom, you're right, I saw my mom go from not having anything at all when it came to her like graduate, undergrad, or whatnot, to having her master's now. Of course, we don't need any of that to be a business owner or go anywhere in life, but she thought it was very significant being a Black woman. She was like, I need to get my master's. I need to do it. And now we're going to be going to my graduation for my master's. And I'm like, dang, you got it before me. I wanted to get it before you. So very, very happy for her, I guess. But very excited to celebrate together. Yeah.
Congratulations on to her. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
What events do you guys have coming up?
Yep. So we don't have any coming up till 2025. One is pending. But the one that we have that's for sure in motion is in March. Trying to think of the day without the calendar. But it's going to be at Sweetly Bronze, which is very excited. Owner Ashley, she is literally an angel. I love how our company's called Sweetly Bronze. It's going to be in March, and it's going to have a lot of luckiness towards it. So I'll just leave you with that little aspect.
Oh,
But it'll be fun to say the least.
that's awesome.
Good. And
We'll make sure that we tag like your Instagram, your link tree,
Perfect.
all of that, so people can find your events and
Love it.
make sure we're promoting those as they come along.
anything else you would like to leave anybody with? Anything we didn't touch on that you would like to make?
Yes. So if you want to be a part of our community, because I know that is the main focus that we've had during this conversation, you're able to follow us on Halo. We have a community app. It's the Lady Lounge. You can follow us on Instagram, the_lady_lounge. I'm over the Instagram currently. So whenever you message us, you'll always get me. So those are the 2 points to connect with us.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Love it.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for having me.
Yes, thank
We
you.
are so happy
Yes.
to have you on, and
Yes.
we wish you all the luck, and we'll be talking
Appreciate it, you all as well.
that we can do together.
Yes, the rollerblades, please. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. We can even out though, but we need to get this going. I'm excited.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
Of course, anytime, ladies. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Bree.